Okay, so Josephine, hello, and welcome to week 2 of our Build Your Result for 2021 program and Ignite Your Fire. So this week is going to be all about igniting your fire. And we have the fire lady, the fire expert with us, Josefine Staats. She's live from Berlin in Germany. And she is, as we said in the introduction, a very successful entrepreneur. She's a mom of 3. And she is a very passionate advocate of the FIRE method. And she's going to tell us, Josephine, you are going to tell us everything about the FIRE method and the impact that it made on your life. So I just want to say a quick, just to make the link with last week. Last week, we worked on building our vision boards and our resolve for 2021. And in the vision boards, we went through the 4 main houses in our lives. So the health and fitness, the house of emotions, the house of creativity, but also the house of abundance. And within the heart of the house of abundance, we spoke about our finances and our financial goals. But it's a very nice thing to have a financial goal, to wish for abundance or whatever, a new car, whatever you can wish for. But if you do not have a concrete plan of action or a method, a very specific method to achieve it, this is just going to remain a wishful thinking, and things will never happen. So if you want things to happen in your life, it is not enough to just wish for them. You have to start making baby steps and taking actions. And within the context of the sanitary crisis and all the financial pressure that was, fell on everybody everywhere in the world this year, we decided not only to make this program free, but also to put a very special emphasis on week 2 at the heart of this program on the finances. So today, Josephine, I'm going now to stop talking and I will let you introduce us the FIRE method and why it is so important for you. And then, because it is day 1 and we have to get started and we have to do our homework, you are going maybe to tell us what we need to do today to get started.
Okay, yeah, let's get started. FIRE for me is actually a philosophy. It's not only a method which is useful for entrepreneurs like me, but it is really something that is useful for everybody, for you, for you, for you. It is a very powerful method, and I wish I had known it earlier in my life. I only came across the theory of, last year or 2 years ago.
Where does it come from? Sorry to interrupt, but what does it mean and where does it come from?
Okay, FIRE means financial independence, retire early. I think it's a very nice, it's very, it's a nice name, but I think the financial independence part is much more important than the retire early part, because it's not only about retiring early and lying lazy at the beach. It's more about living in the present and enjoying life today also, and being able to do what you really enjoy and what you like, and where you see where you can add purpose for society.
Okay, so you said, this financial independence through the FIRE method. Yeah. How are you supposed to achieve this financial independence?
Oh, there are a few methods how to achieve it, and as I said before, everybody can achieve it, and you don't have to be grown into a millionaire's family. But it is a conscious and very sustainable lifestyle and a method to get off the hamster wheel of life and to be in charge of your own finance. Mm-hmm. It's not only about retiring early, it's really about a good life here and now, and not only in the future. It's also about a very careful use of resources. So you really, you think twice before you buy something, and it's very individual also, because FIRE, like spending money for you, can be something completely different than it is for me. I enjoy, because I really focus a lot on my health and on good nutrition. I spend a lot of money for food and for good eating. But and I also spend a lot of money for gadgets, like new smartphones, new computers that somebody would consider to be completely unnecessary. So everybody has a very different way of spending and focusing on focusing their money. But you cannot have everything. You cannot have the 5-star hotel and the super nice smartphone and the nice beautiful apartment and clothes from Hermes and Chanel. You cannot have
you are
everything.
saying you would just define in the method that we are going to see throughout the week. What you are saying is that you would just define your priorities in life and then try to allocate your money and your spendings in priority to the areas that are most important to you. Am I right?
Yes. I think you really have to, like, the first thing everybody should do if you like to incorporate the FIRE method in your life, you really have to see where your spending goes. So what your money, what you do with your money, because most people actually don't realize how much they spend for, new shoes, for taxis, to hotels, to restaurants,
On Starbucks.
Whatever, Starbucks. Yes. So you really, like, I was quite surprised, because when I did it last year, actually, no, even before I did it, but last year I did it again, and then I looked at my eating outside habits, and I realized that I spent a few €1,000 every year just for eating out. Which I think it's nice if you know this is one of your priorities in life. Like, eating out is what you really enjoy and you love because you're together with your friends or whatever, your partner, your family, then it's okay to spend a lot of money for eating out. But if you realize that this is not one of your priorities where you really want to spend your money, then it's good to know that you spend too much, and you really can cut expenses here. But before you can cut, you really have to analyze and totally understand your spending. I know it sounds a little bit boring, like, you like going with your smartphone, or you can also do it by paper or whatever. You can use different methods. I use the one from I use a budget method, which you can find in the App Store. It's called I have to look at it myself.
We put the links to the tools in
put the links. It's called Money Control. Money Control is one of the biggest one, at least in Germany. I don't know in France, but there are really many different ways, methods you can use. You can even use just your Moleskine, your Moleskine book and write it down. But you really need to analyze what you're spending your money.
So what you would advise, because we are going to put the link to the FIRE method in the workbook, and to the budget tracking tools, because you said this is the first step. It is very important. The first step to reaching your financial independence is looking back and analyzing your spending habits. Because if you do not, you just spend erratically, you cannot be strategic about something that is erratic. So the first thing you need to start tracking. I know personally, I have always been doing a budget, and although I have had, I think, a very unfair reputation of being a big spender, I always had a budget in my life, my file is going back to 2013, my Excel file, where each and every penny I have spent is tracked in this file. Even when I take out some cash, and I write down in this file every day where I do spend my money, because I have budgets allocated for everything in my in my daily life. And at the end of the month, I see, okay, I spent maybe €50 extra on this, and I'm going to spend 50 less on that because I bought new clothes for the kids or whatever. But it really allows me to be a little bit strategic, and I'm sure I have a lot of stuff to learn from you. But what I mean is you have to start tracking, and then you have to start being strategic. And I want to say an anecdote, because I'm always laughing at that. It's making a real budget and being very strategic versus my mom's way of making a budget, which is at the end of the month, she just takes her bank account and she adds up everything, and she goes like, oh, so this is the budget. And I always laughing, because I'm like, Mom, this is not a budget. This is an addition. You are just counting how much money you spent, and you just go at the end of the month and this is my budget. This is not the way you do a budget. A budget is very strategic. And as you said, it's dividing your expenses into categories and having a track record. So, and then from there on, once you have that, you can start making decisions. For somebody who is just starting and who's maybe freaking out, Josefine, just listening to us saying how you have to track your expenses and who's allergic to that, how long would you advise that they start tracking their expenses? Would you advise that they start for just 1 month or for 3 months, or for how long would you advise?
I think it's good to do it for at least 1 month. And then normally what happens because I have a few friends I advise, and and they tell me that after 1 month, they actually like to do it. And it also happened to me. I did it many years back, and then again, and now I do it for like, I budget also like for a long time. And for me, it's more like, it's a sustainable practice. It's like, it's very, how to say it, it's very relaxing and very easy, and you just do it, and it helps me to get through the days, and it goes very fast because now
So you have it on your phone, and every time let's say you buy a coffee, how does it work?
Yes, you can actually, you can even use Siri, with the iPhone, and you can type, you can link the app to Siri, but you can also just type it in and go. It's like it takes a few seconds, but to start, I think it's good to start to do it only for 1 month, and if you want, you can do it for 2 months or for 3 months. But after 1 month, you will already see where your biggest where your money goes, and
Okay.
and then you have a much better picture.
Okay, so the first step to the financial independence and retiring early, so being a bit strategic about your money and having a plan, of course, is having a clear picture of the reality. So today's homework is to start tracking your expenses. We will advise everybody to, really go through this, as painful as it is. But if you do not want to start downloading an app or whatever, you just take your last bank statement and you try tracking into categories, and you will see out of your revenue how much you spend on 1 month. I promise you, it takes 10 minutes. And we said every day you have 10 to 15 minutes of exercise. But if you are too lazy to take every receipt, every credit card receipt, you just take your bank statement and you look how much you spend on electricity, how much you spend on internet, how much you spend on food, how much you spent on whatever personal expenses and whatever. And you have to get started. To be strategic, you have to start tracking. So this is the homework for today before we move on to day 2. And just
one thing, Emily, I think it's good not to have too many categories. It's better to put together a few categories, because if you have too many, if you have if you have 20, I suggest you have like 5 to 10, not more. Like eating out could be one, like restaurants and eating out, but you can combine it with social life, which we all don't have during COVID time anyway. But going to the groceries, it could be one category. It doesn't have to be drugstore and groceries. I think it's enough if you have. It's better to have fewer categories, because then you really have a better
So this is the start of the week, just before we get started with the FIRE program. And then in the other days, we are going to talk about tomorrow, building your own pyramid of priority lists. Then on day 3, we are going to talk about the importance of saving. On day 4, you are going to teach us about your investment methods, how to invest and what to invest on. And on day 5, which I think is going to be super exciting, and I cannot wait to hear that from you, you are going to share your tools and tricks, financial tools and tricks, and teach us how to be a little bit more frugal, which I certainly can learn from you. And then we will move on to the last day of the week, where we will have our live coaching call. So thank you, Josefine, and we will put all the resources in the workbook. And I'm so excited to get started. Actually, I'm done with the homework, because I always track my expenses, so I have no homework for today. Okay, so see you tomorrow for day 2. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Unfair reputation of being a big spender. Unfair reputation of being a big spender. Unfair reputation of being a big spender. Unfair reputation of being a big spender.